Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on Archive D Style here. How's it going, guys? Had some free time and I thought I'd come on for a little bit. If you're listening on Archive, please press that like button. Share the video on all your social media platforms. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Topic for today is, what do some people want from Canelo? Everybody wants something from Canelo, right? We're boxing fans. We want fights. I get it. All right. Everyone can have a preference. I wanted to fight this guy. Cool. I wanted to fight that guy. Cool. But keep in mind, whoever you want to see him fight is not necessarily who the next person wants to see him fight. All right? Boxing fans are like viejas. You know what I mean? You can't quite figure them out. No matter how long you've been watching boxing, how long you've been talking to boxing fans can never agree on anything. Any controversial fight, we never agree on who won. Even when a decision is clear, there's always got to be a percentage of boxing fans that have to argue for the other guy. Right? Contrarians by nature, I get it. All right? Chismes a madre. All right? TMZ style shit. Like, it's just the way it is. Right? For a lot of people, it's their novela. It's their soap opera. Me, I just want to see fights. That's what I want. I just want to see dudes get in the ring and duke it out. That's what I want. Is that too much to ask? No. So I have my preferences of who I would like to see Canelo fight. The next person has another preference, who they would rather see Canelo fight. Some boxing fans will say, I want to see him fight Charlo. That's what I want. Usually it's Charlo fans, but that's what they want. Right? Then you have other ones say, nah, he needs to fight Andre. Andre's the way to go. If he fights anybody else, he's ducking. Right? Nah, somebody else, nah. Errol Spence called him out. Errol Spence is looking for him. Is he going to duck Errol Spence? Nah. If he fights anybody else, he's ducking, right? No. I wanted to fight Plant. But give Plant real time to prepare. Don't offer him the fight with just 4 or 3 months to go, Canelo. Give him a good, long notice so he knows, with a retirement package, right? But I want to see him fight Caleb Plant. That's what I want. Give me that. Right? If he fights anybody else other than Caleb Plant, he's ducking Caleb Plant. I want to see him fight Benavidez. That's what the next guy's going to say, right? If he don't fight Benavidez, he is ducking. I don't care who he fights. If he don't fight Benavidez next that he took his belt, the WBC, which Benavidez lost in a way, by the way, but that's a different story. If you don't fight him, he's a ducker, and that's that. He doesn't want the smoke with Benavidez. And then you have others. Then the next guy's going to say, right? The next guy, no, I don't know what y'all talking about. What Canelo needs to do is go to 175 and fight Beterbiev. He's got to fight the Russian, right? Why are you scared of Beterbiev, Canelo? Why you find all these little dudes at 168 and 160? Stop ducking the smoke with Beterbiev. We know you're scared, right? And then the next guy's going to come, I don't know about any of that. The guy that Canelo should be fighting is Bivol. Bivol's the one he should be fighting for real. Bivol offered to go down to 168. What's your excuse, Canelo? Come on, Canelo. Fight Bivol, Canelo. If you don't fight Bivol, Canelo, you are a duck. I don't give a fuck who you fight. If you don't fight Bivol, you're a duck, Canelo. You're a quack quack duck if you don't fight Bivol next, right? And the next person's gonna come, nah. What the fuck y'all talking about? It's obvious that the guy he needs to fight is Triple G Gennady Golovkin. I mean, Gennady Golovkin dominated both fights, and Canelo's running scared. He's running and hiding. Okay, he ran up to 175 and 160, 168. He's hiding from Gennady Golovkin. Doesn't want to fight him a third time. Tell Canelo, Gennady Golovkin wants that smoke. If you don't fight Gennady Golovkin in his next fight, he's a duck. Okay, he is ducking Gennady Golovkin. This is what we're hearing. It doesn't matter what he does. A percentage of boxing fans are going to accuse him of ducking somebody. It doesn't matter who he fights, guys. It doesn't matter who he fights. Someone's going to accuse him of ducking. You can divide all these fans in a pie chart. And if they don't fight the guys they want, especially next, never mind if he'll fight him eventually, just next, right? They're going to accuse him of ducking. And before you say, well, I don't see any, get out of your bubble. That's what you need to do. There's millions of boxing fans all over social media. There's not just a couple hundred here and there. Expand your bubble, please. It doesn't matter what Canelo does. He's going to be accused of ducking no matter who he fights. DJ Mexicano Texas, how's it going? No, Paul. Andres, Afro-Rican, that's 175, but I hear you. A Tone Brown. Look, people see it, right? Giving him no credit. It's not just me saying this, right? It is. CMB, how's it going? But here's what I want to say. What I want to make sure people understand is this. I'm not telling people, hey, you can have a preference. If you have a preference, like, I really want to see Canelo fight this guy next, right? And you want to make demand for that. You want to make videos. Hey, I want to see him fight this guy. That's cool, right? But just keep in mind that everyone from 160, apparently even guys sub of 160, like Errol Spence, right? Lara is still talking about fighting Canelo, right? So we're talking about 154, 160, 168, 175. There's a multitude of people that want to fight Canelo. Now, Canelo has made it abundantly clear that his goal now that he's out from the jaws of being stuck with only the zone, he can still work with the zone and make fights with the zone, but he's not required to. He can step outside of the zone to make fights now. Right? Of all the guys I mentioned, every single one of them, especially the guys at 160, 168, and 175, what are they doing to separate themselves from the pack? We got a bunch of dudes waiting around for Canelo to fight them. And some with Plant with conditions. What the fuck is Plant doing fighting Truax? What is that? What the fuck's that about? Well, what's that about? Come on now. Who the hell has Benavidez really fought outside of Durrell? Who has he fought? I wasn't impressed with that Angulo cat. Were you impressed with that cat? I wasn't. Billy Joe Saunders, he just fought Murray, right? So we could go on and on. That's another one. If Canelo wants to really be the king of England, he needs to beat Billy Joe. Billy Joe can give him problems. Maybe he can. But he needs to actually get in the ring with him. He needs to step in the ring and he needs to fight. Canelo. And I don't want to hear about, oh, Canelo lowballing them. Look, if a dude's offering you like 3 or 4, sometimes even more than that, times the amount that you've ever made in your career, that's not really a lowball, is it? Mayweather didn't offer Maidana like $15-20 million to fight him. Canelo didn't make money like that when he fought Mayweather. Like, that's not the way it is. You'll get more money out the back end if you win. If you're going to make $4 or $5 million to fight Canelo, I don't give a fuck if they gave Kovalev more money. So what? You weren't involved in that fight. That's called overpaying the motherfucker. They can't keep overpaying people. But now, guess what? Canelo has options. Now, if the zone doesn't want to pay for a fighter or an opponent, guess what? He don't have to work with the zone. Canelo's finally realized, look, man, I don't need Golden Boy like that. I don't need the zone like that. I can work with the zone, but I don't need them exclusively. If I could do a pay-per-view solo or with PBC or with Top Rank, he'll do it. He's got options. I can't wait to see who some of these dudes you're saying Canelo's done. I can't wait to see who they're going to fight next. I can't wait to see who they sign on a dotted line and put in the ring with them next. Andrade, right? He's saying he's gonna make a move. Okay, he wants that smoke with Billy Joe Saunders at 168. That's a good move. It is. And Andrade said, hey, Canelo says he wants to unify. When I get that belt from Billy Joe Saunders, well, we'll see if Canelo keeps the same energy. Okay, you want to call Canelo bluff like that, then call it. But guess what? When the time comes, I don't want to hear the excuses. Okay? Hey, Andrade, when the time comes and they offer you more than enough money to get in the ring with Canelo, please don't price yourself out, buddy. Don't talk tough like that. Talk how you want all that smoke with Canelo, but then step out. You're not going to make that money with anybody else, so let's just get real about it. Let's just get real about it. That's it. So just, fight. You're the one calling the bluff. When he says, okay, let's go, then let's go. You got work with Billy Joe Saunders. Like, Billy Joe is a piece of shit, but he could box his ass off. You know what I mean? So we'll see if we could get through him first. But it's a move. These are that's a move I could respect, believe it or not. All right? That's a move I could respect. Okay, Canelo says, I want smoke with Canelo. Canelo says he's going to unify 168. I'm a big boy. I can go to 168. You know what? I could beat Billy Joe Saunders. Let me get that strap from Billy Joe. All right, a win over Billy Joe means you beat a champion. Canelo wants to unify. You could unify with him. I can respect that a lot more than freaking Plant fighting Truax, man. That fight is a fucking joke. And you know what? Everybody knows it. That fight is an insult to our intelligence. Caleb Plant fighting Caleb Truax is an insult to us. And this is not even an in-betweener. He just fought a fucking nobody. Then he fought the Subway guy before that. When is he going to fight somebody, man? I like Caleb Plant. Dude's a hell of a talent. The eye test is there. But my God, when are you really going to step up already? When are you going to step up? So even if you say, oh, Canelo, he started his campaign at 168 against the weakest guys, right? Just sit down and think about it for a moment, right? You're not going to start, look, he beat Rocky Fielding. Fielding was a quote-unquote regular champion, right? Or people say, oh, he's not a real champion, doesn't count. He didn't fight the super champ. Then he fights the super champ. Oh, well, that doesn't count. He's the weakest champion. He's the weakest link, right? Okay. If you want to unify, right? If you want to unify belts, just think about it for a moment. Then you're going to start, especially when you're just getting acclimated with the weight and you're new to that weight class. Why would you start with the biggest, baddest shark, especially when none of these dudes are fighting? We don't even know who's better between all of them because they never fought each other. All right? How do you know who's better between Plant and Smith? We can guess, we can have educated guesses, but we don't know because they haven't fought. So he started with Caleb with Callum Smith. Look, if he would have started with Caleb Plant, beat Plant, there would have been people saying, oh, why do you start with Smith? Well, why do you have to start with Plant? Plant hadn't fought anybody. Smith won the tournament. Smith was the ring champion. Like, it doesn't matter what he does. Like, there's always going to be somebody saying something. He can't make everybody happy all at once. No matter who he fights, he's not going to please everybody. He's not going to please everybody. But who are these other guys fighting though? What moves are they making? Like is Plant making a move to fight Caleb Truax like really a move? Is that like a move that really puts Canelo's back against the wall? Like, does that really do something? Now, what does that do? Like, how does fighting a trash opponent like really put Canelo in his place? Like, oh yeah, look at what I'm gonna do. Like what does that mean? Like, what are you doing? And a lot of these other guys, you guys are demanding Canelo fight. You do know they're going to be announcing opponents for them soon, right? So I really hope we have that same energy. I really hope. Because I could almost guarantee you they're not going to be fighting killers. And if they do, good for them. That's raising their profile. That's creating pressure. It's time for these guys to start making moves and stop waiting on that big Canelo payday, right? Fighting easy opposition in the meantime while, you get fans and people to claim that Canelo's ducking you, right, isn't really doing anything for you. Here's why these guys need to start fighting each other and proving a little more. Because let's say Canelo would have fought Caleb Plant. Let's say he fights him right after the Truax fight, right? Now, we all know here today, a lot of people want to see that fight. A lot of people have called for that fight, right? And it is a unification. And it has to happen if Canelo wants to become undisputed. But let's say it happens. See, Canelo goes in there, Canelo beats him in similar fashion to how he beat Smith. Hypothetically. And then in his next fight, he loses. And then it just turns out that Caleb Plant just wasn't quite what we thought he was. And he gets on some losing streak or something. Gets knocked out a couple times. It's just he kind of just fades into oblivion. Starts becoming an opponent for guys like a Martin Murray or something like that, right? We're going to look back at that, right? When we're talking resumes and all that, we're going to look back at that and say, man, what a weak win for Canelo. He unified in that belt, but, he never even beat anybody, and then he didn't beat anybody afterwards. That's what people are going to say. That's what they say about Crawford now. Crawford unified and all that. He got it disputed, but now when Ndongo loses, oh, what a weak resume by Crawford. And you know what I mean? People forget where time was at that time. People forget that. So if these guys actually fight each other, right, If Plant and Benavidez fight each other, the winner of that fight would be a very lucrative fight to fight against Canelo. Because now they got a win under their belt. Now they have a unification under the belt, right? Now they've been tested through the middle. We know a little more. We have a little more data to know that these guys are that good, right? So they got to start mixing it up with each other as well. Canelo can't be doing everything. He can't do everything, guys. This isn't Diggstown. Canelo could fight 4 times. Can we all agree that 4 times is very active for a fighter nowadays? We can all agree with that, right? Let's say Canelo fights. I'm going to give everybody a heart attack here, but let's say he fights Advil Urine in February, right? You know what? Let's say March, right? Oh, YouTube's going to explode. YouTube's going to lose their mind, right? Why? Like, now me, I hold Canelo to too high of a standard to be fighting Advil Urine, but if they're telling him it's his mandatory, right? And Plant just fought, right? And Benavidez, who knows what he's doing, right? But all that aside, let's say that's who he fights. Okay, cool. And then let's say he fights like in July or some shit. Or June. Say June. Let's say he fights in June. Okay, let's go by the seasons. Winter, Advil Urine, right? The spring, let's say he fights Benavidez. Just hypothetically. I could already tell you what some of the excuses are going to be, right? Oh, Canelo, he knows Benavidez couldn't make the weight. No, Benavidez looked drained. Benavidez was ready to fight at 175. Why couldn't Canelo fight him at 175 if he fought Kovalev at 175? Canelo said he's going to be unifying belts, but this is not even a unification. Right? They're just going to throw a bunch of shit out there. Okay? I'll read the comments in a little bit, guys. And then let's say in the summer, right, he does unify against Plant, right? Hypothetically. Right? Oh, yeah, he unified, but what has Plant really done? I mean, Plant hasn't really beaten anybody. I mean, he's beating guys like Truax. I mean, what does that really show us? You know what I mean? Why is Canelo's fighting him? Because he knows he could beat him. That's why he was pursuing him the whole time, right? And then let's say in the fall, he fights Billy Joe Saunders. Now, this would make him undisputed. Like if everything stays the way it is now with the belts, if he fought Advil Urine, Benavidez, Plant, and Billy Joe Saunders, that would be amazing. But there's going to be this ridiculous effort to highlight the Advil Urine fight, right? They're going to downplay the Benavidez win. They'll downplay the Plant win and the Billy Joe Saunders win. They'll downplay it. All those guys aren't shit anyway. Canelo moved to that weight class because there was easier competition there. Canelo isn't this, he isn't that. That's what a segment, not everybody. That's like, and the reason I'm giving you the schedule, I'm going to give you another one in a moment, right? That will unify 168, right? And you will still have people upset, right? But let's go over another schedule. Let's say, that he does, like something crazy happens in the winter, early next year. Let's say he fights Spence, right, at 160 pounds. That would be a big fight, whether we like it or not. That's probably the biggest pay-per-view event out of all the fights that we're talking about. Okay, I know sometimes shit isn't fair in boxing, but that's the truth, right? That's a 1 million plus buy pay-per-view, right? But let's say he did that, hypothetically, right? And then And then he fights. Shoot me a name. Shoot me the name in the chat. Shoot me a name. Anybody. Poke Counter is like one of those dudes that's just is never going to give Canelo credit for anything, but it's cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have an issue with it at all. But Spence, let's say he fights Spence, right? Poke Counter has yet to name me a guy that has a better resume than Canelo right now. I've been waiting like for 4 videos. But it's all good, though. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Well, none of these other guys. No, you don't, bro. No, you don't. Because I've gone over a lot of shit. I preach, and you don't listen to any of it. So it's whatever to me. I'm not going to, it's whatever to me. It's all good. It's all good, though. All right? Look at this. Look at this. Like he loves Canelo. Well, if you love him, then tell us what you want from him. Well, what do you want? Go ahead. Let's do a schedule right now. Let's say he fights Spence in the winter. Who would you like Canelo to fight in the spring? Anybody? Anybody want to give me a name? Let's play the game. Like, tell me who you would like to see him fight. Anybody. Anybody at all. Give me a name. Give me a name. Poke Counter, you said when everyone, you got to get out of your bubble, bro, because different people are asking different things from Canelo. That's just the truth. All right, let's say he fights Plant, right? So in the spring, he'll fight Plant. All right, let's say 168. Then let's say he gets like an Advil urine in between that, right? And later in the year, let's say he fights Andre, right? 168, right? Let's say Andre beat Billy Joe Saunders, right? There would still be people upset and angry, even at Spence, Plant, Urine, Andre. You would still be hearing the same things. Okay, so Jermell at 154. We already know Canelo's not going to fight at 154. Right? Right? Also, Jermell was not relevant when Canelo was at 154. He wasn't even the best fighter in his gym. Lara was. I know the dude that will go to the gym all the time and filmed the sparring. Lara was the guy. People at the time, if you go by the timetable, Lara was the guy that they said he needs to fight, and he fought him. When he fought Trout was just ranked higher. He was just a belt holder. He was just higher touted at the time than the Charlo brothers. That's just the truth. The Charlo brothers were not really considered like that. By the time Canelo moved to 160, right? There wasn't oh, you gotta fight Charlo. And the Charlos were fighting the guys Canelo already fought 3 or 4 years after Canelo fought them. That's just the truth. I'll give you Jermell. I don't know about Jermell, but I'll give you Jermell at 160, right? Mauricio Suleiman made Canelo Alvarez the franchise champion. I'm on record saying I don't like the franchise championship thing, right? But since then, Canelo fought a unification with Danny Jacobs, and by the way, he fought Gennady Golovkin twice, and he fought Danny Jacobs. Then he moved up to fight Kovalev, and now he's campaigning at 168 pounds. Benavidez didn't make weight and lost his belt. I mean, that's Benavidez' fault. It ain't Canelo's fault that Benavidez can't do the real basics, like make weight. I'm not saying he can't redeem himself and come back from it, but I think Benavidez should fight somebody, okay, worth note, before we say, oh, yeah, he's got to get that Canelo fight. He's earned the Canelo fight. Like what? By not making weight? By beating Angulo? Like come on now. Like, ooh, he beat Angulo. Really? In the meantime, he fought a reigning champion, and he wants to unify against all the champions at 168 pounds. They have already said they will not rule out a fight with Charlo, that he can get it. Spence challenged him. He said he can get it too. He just can't fight all of them. And he was in litigation with the Zone. He couldn't fight while he was under litigation. What do you want from the guy? Like, well, did he want him to arrange a street fight for free? Well, while he was in court? Or like, you know what I mean? He wins the court case, right? He wins the litigation anyway against the Zone and against Golden Boy, right? He gets out of his contract with Golden Boy, and the first thing he does is like try to make a fight with Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant doesn't want it. Smith was the one that said, okay, I'll do it. And he did it. And that was a last-second fight that was made. Now let's play a little game. Let's say Canelo avoided Charlo, right, and went and then moved up and went to avoid Charlo. Let's just hypothetically say that's what he did. Okay, what is Charlo doing? What is Charlo doing right now? I gave him credit for his last win against Derevyanchenko. I give him credit for that win. Now, never mind the fact that Derevyanchenko had already been beat by and dropped by Jacobs and Triple G, right? Never mind that. But you know, I think this is a fight he should have had a long time ago. But for the Dennis Hogans and all that, I'm just not that impressed, right? What has he done to? Why can't he fight these other guys at 160? He can't fight Munguia. He can't fight any of these other guys. I can't wait to see who he's going to fight next. I hope it's a good opponent, personally. Also, he was offered $15 million to fight Canelo, right? Let's say he had good reason to turn it down. Let's just say that. You can't say a guy's ducking when he's offering you money to fight him, right? It's a really dangerous thing to offer somebody $15 million if you're scared to fight them. Even if the timing's not right, because they might just say yes. I just explained all of it for you. Now, let's flip it for a second. We have to do contentions, right? In order to accuse one guy of ducking and being all these things, being a fraud, then you need to prove to me that somebody else is doing more than him. Please, give me a name with a better resume than Canelo. I'll love to hear it. Okay, and what about Dennis Hogan? What about K9 Bundridge? Everybody has those fights, dude. Everybody has those type of fights, like a Rocky Fielding. Everybody. Rocky Fielding just isn't as expensive as a Charlo. Charlo wants more money than Rocky Fielding. He was offered $15 million. His own brother came out and said, I wouldn't have turned down $15 million to fight Canelo. He was offered to fight. Like, I don't know what else you want. I don't know what else you want. And then the Jermell thing is completely made up. Completely made up. Can somebody look up for me the year Jermell won a world title for the first time? Anybody? Everyone has called Canelo out. Well, there we go. Like, woo. Like even if he fights Charlo, right? The Benavides fans, the Plant fans, they're going to say he's ducking. It doesn't matter who he fought. If he would have fought Plant, okay, Callum Smith fans would be saying, okay, that he's ducking and avoiding fights. It doesn't matter what he does. They were saying he wasn't going to fight Lara. Lara showed up to the press conference. Oh, Canelo's not going to fight him. Watch, he's going to duck. Why? He fought him, right? Oh, look, he's not going to fight Trout. Oh, look, he wants it. No. He fought Trout, an undefeated, a Trout that just beat Miguel Cotto, a Trout that was confident in his prime. That's who he fought. He fought the lineal champion Miguel Cotto for the middleweight championship. That's who he fought. Did he have in-betweeners just like everybody else does? Fights that we don't really like that much? Sure. So, everybody has those fights. That is a narrative, bro. I'm sorry. This whole he hasn't fought his peers in their primes. I just named you two of them. Lara and Trout were in their primes. They weren't in their primes when they fought all these other guys in 154. Trout wasn't in his prime anymore when he fought Maul. Was K9 Bundrich in his prime? Who has Maul? What peer has Maul fought that was in his prime? I'll love to hear the name. Please, we need to do comparative and comparison here. Let's do it. I just named you two of them. I named you two. You said none. I named you two right off the bat. Like, what do you want? How is Callum Smith not his peer in his prime? He's obviously in his prime. Caleb Plant is his peer and in his prime. He's trying to fight him. Maul was offered $15 million. Turned it down. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he had a good reason to turn it down, right? But he turned it down. He's like I'm just proving this whole thing. I'm tearing it apart live on the air right now. I'm not even having to sit down, think about it, and do a video about it. I'm tearing it apart right now. Man, this is easy work. At the very least, it's an argument, right? You're telling me Trout wasn't in his prime when Canelo fought him? I mean, first, was Canelo in his prime when he fought Floyd? He wasn't. Okay, he was not in his prime. Right? So we want to make peers in their prime. I just named you multiple fighters, right, that were peers in their prime. I just named you multiple of them. When he fought Trout, when he fought Lara, those were his peers in their prime. You're not going to get a better Lara than the one that fought Canelo. You're not. The Lara that ended up fighting later on, like it wasn't the same Lara anymore. What's going on, Jay Lee? I appreciate that, man. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, I appreciate that. Poke counter. I'm not playing dumb at all. I would appreciate it if you're not just assuming and just take my words for face value, okay? I answered your questions. You want Canelo to fight Jermall Charlo. Let me ask you this, Poke counter. Really simple question. And I want to ask this to everybody. Does Jermall Charlo need Canelo Alvarez to solidify his legacy as a fighter? Is he not capable of having a Hall of Fame career without Saul Canelo Alvarez? What's stopping him from unifying with the guys at 160 and becoming undisputed at 160 pounds? What is stopping him from doing that? Like, leaving Canelo aside for a moment. Can he not do something without Canelo? Because every Charlo video I see on YouTube, some way, somehow, Canelo's name is attached to it. Every Canelo video I see doesn't have Charlo attached to it. Every Canelo video I see has multiple fighters attached to it. Because a lot of people want a piece of him. A lot of people want to fight him. A lot of people want to do that. That's just the truth. Now, look, hey, Pull Counter's allowed to have his opinion. He's allowed to feel how he feels. All right? I'm actually glad he's saying something, not just giving me laughing emojis. The laughing emojis was a little tougher to decipher now. Now, that was tough. I was like, what does it mean by that? Is he laughing at me? Is he laughing at Canelo? Is he laughing with me? I don't know. Okay, Pull Counter. Are you okay with him fighting Caleb Plant? Is that not a good fight? Like, here's the deal. Like, if Canelo is ducking Charlo, right? Because let's say the reason is he doesn't want to take that big risk right now, against Charlo. Charlo's dangerous, right? Okay, so what's the reasoning for Charlo not to fight these other guys? Let's say Canelo isn't. Let's just hypothetically, let's just say he's avoiding them, right? Okay, so does your world revolve around Canelo? So you're not going to do anything until you fight Canelo then? You're going to keep fighting Dennis Hogan's and all that? Who is he taking risk against? He's never even had a unification fight. Time to unify, time to build your profile and make it undeniable. Better yet, why can't he move up in division and challenge a Billy Joe Saunders, or hell, Plant is in PBC. Why not do Plant versus Charlo? You beat Plant, you're right there, 168. You got another belt, you want to unify, I'm right here. That's what Andre's doing, challenging Billy Joe Saunders. Like, there's moves. What is he doing to make it undeniable at a 168? Because that's what Canelo's campaigning right now. Now, if Charlo gets a belt at 160, let's say he beats Plant, right? Now, a lot of you don't want those guys. No. Let's head shit. I want Canelo to fight both of them. Why does Canelo need to fight both of them? Why can't they both fight each other and then they can fight the winner? The winner can fight Canelo. You just want to get to the Super Bowl just like that? You want Canelo to, just fight everybody? This isn't Diggstown. This isn't Diggstown. Why aren't these guys aren't fighting their peers either? Canelo's fought more of his peers. It's not even close. It's not even close. That's what I don't think people understand. And when I say this, it's almost like I'm speaking Chinese or something. Like, what, am I speaking French? Like, what is it that's not understood? Okay, so if he doesn't get the Canelo fight, what's Charlo going to do? Just chill back, relax, and do nothing then? Oh, you can't do anything without Canelo. Like what? Why? What if Canelo didn't exist? What if Canelo dies in a car crash tomorrow? Okay, let me knock on wood. Okay? If Canelo just dies and he's gone from the earth, right? What's Charlo going to do? What's he going to do to solidify his legacy and have a Hall of Fame career? What is he doing? All these guys are waiting around, taking easy fucking fights, waiting for the Canelo payday. That's clear as day. Plant is almost as old as Canelo, has never unified, and hasn't fought anybody with a fucking pulse. Who the fuck has Plant fought? Look at all the accomplishments Canelo's had in his career. He's younger than Jamal by a couple months. He's a little younger than him. That's unbelievable. And look, I like the Charlo brothers. I think what Jamal's doing at 154 right now is great. I've known about the Charlo brothers, and I'm not trying to pull rank or anything. I'm just putting perspective, okay? I known about them for years when they were just prospects. They're on Rope-A-Dope Radio. Ashy Knuckles brought them on. I like the Charlo brothers. But you don't subtract from one man to add to another. That's not the way it works in life. Every time Canelo fights, Charlo interviews pop up, or he's claiming Canelo's ducking him and avoiding him. He's running, he's hiding, right? But then you look at his career and it's okay, what have you done? There's options through PBC. You have options. Jermel, one fight away from becoming undisputed. That's a hell of an accomplishment. I will give him all the credit in the world, but I'm not going to pretend that he was in the mix and Canelo was running scared from Jermel like fucking 6-7 years ago. Get the hell out of here. He wasn't even in the mix. That was when Jermel wasn't even knocking people out. That just recently started happening. This idea, like, I mean, come on. I agree, Zone. If Canelo died in a car crash tomorrow, what are these guys going to do? That's it? They're going to quit boxing or what? No, what are they fucking doing other than just waiting on Canelo? What are these guys doing in the meantime? What are they doing? I can't get over the fact, by the way. I just can't get over it. I can't get over the fact that Plant's fighting Truax. I can't get over it. You guys do know a lot of the guys you're saying Canelo's ducking, they're going to be announcing opponents for them soon, right? You know that, right? I really hope they're like really noteworthy opponents. I really do. Look at a Triple G just fought. Come on, dude. They're like they're just wanting to stay. They want to keep a winning streak in the meantime, and just hope that they get that call from Canelo. That's all it is. Like you can't eat without Canelo, and y'all are contributing to this too, right? How about as boxing fans, you start calling for unification at 160, and stop bringing up Canelo's name. Like you can't live without Canelo. Oh, Canelo this, Canelo that. Because you know what you're doing? You're clout chasing off of Canelo's name is what you're doing. There's people from everywhere wanting Canelo to fight everybody. He can't fight. This is not Diggstown. What are you going to do? Start with Spence and then just line them up one by one? Like, so everybody just gets to wait. And Canelo needs to do the gauntlet and fight every single one of them. Right? Canelo has to take the risk against every single one of them, but they have to take no risk up until it's time for Canelo to put it all on the line against them. Nobody is saying that you can't have a preference. If Paul Counter says, you know what, I wanted to fight Charlo, nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. If he feels Canelo ducked him, okay, that's his opinion. Right? Hey, the franchise belt thing, Mauricio Suleiman didn't do Canelo any favors. I get it. Okay, but what is Jermel going to do now? What is he going to do? Jermel's like, well, what are you going to be that dude with the flowers in your hand, knocking on the door, waiting for Sweetie to open the door, and then he open, you know what I mean? It's another dude that opens the fucking door. And then you're speechless and shit, and then you see her in the corner of your eye with a towel on. Oh, Canelo. But I thought I was the one you're going to pick. What are you going to do? Okay, cool. What are you going to do now? In boxing, there's multiple options. Okay, so what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? What now? Where do we go now? Where do we go? What move? Canelo's only 30 years old, guys. It's hard to believe that, by the way, right? I agree, Coach K. They could make all those fights happen. They all need those fights. All these guys need those fights. Like Triple G just wants to be handed another Canelo payday after he fought my plumber last Friday. All right? Well, you guys need somebody to unclog a toilet, and that dude, I mean, he'll get the job done. Okay? He'll get the job done quick. Right? Triple G's opponent can unclog toilets like there's no tomorrow. Right? But you can do that fight. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if Triple G and Jamal fight each other, then guess what? If Jamal knocks out Triple G or beats him, right? That's a statement. That's a statement right there. And you unify. And you're that much closer to becoming an undisputed champion. Or you can move up. Fight Plan. He's on PBC. Why can't Plan and Jamal fight each other? Why can't that fight happen? Why not? Well, is Truax a better opponent for Plan? Is another Dennis Hogan a better opponent for Jamal? I can't wait I can't wait to hear what a lot of these dudes are going to fight next, man. Just so you guys could see what I mean. Just so you could see what I'm talking about. What are these other guys doing? What are they doing? Derenchenko was a step up for Jamal, and everybody knows that too. Like, everybody knows that. All right? But Derenchenko was a second-tier middleweight. We know that because he lost to top-tier middleweights. Like, that's how we know that. He had already lost to Triple G. He had already lost to Jacobs. It's not like this was some undefeated dude he beat. All right? Good win. You know what I mean? Let somebody say Maul versus Eubank. I'll take that fight. I'll take that fight in a heartbeat. But it's almost like people feel like oh, Canelo's got to take all the risk, right? But then like they want to play and they use the whole, he doesn't want to take the risk for like Canelo. Like everybody understands high risk, low reward thing, right? Everybody understands that when it comes to Canelo. But when it comes to these other guys, it's like they don't understand it. These guys need to understand, like, they are a Canelo fight for some other guys. All right? For those up-and-coming dudes, a fight with Plant is like their Canelo fight. All right? For a guy like Munguia, a Jamal fight, somebody like that, that's to him, that's like a Canelo fight to him right now. Right? Like, there's guys that, like, this. Just like these guys are chasing the $10 million payday against Canelo, right? For the guys that aren't making that much, but they're young, hungry contenders, and they're on the come up right now, okay, to them, that $200,000 payday against Jamal Charlo, that's their payday that they're waiting for, right? Why don't these other guys, like Benavidez Plant, everybody seemed to understand and agree that these guys hate each other, right? Benavidez wants to hurt him so bad, he said, like he hates him and he wants to put him in the hospital. But he doesn't want to get paid to do it, right? Isn't that odd? Isn't that odd as fuck? Like he hates Plant so bad, there's bad blood. He wants to put hands on him, but he won't sign a contract to fight him, and vice versa. They both hate each other so much. Let me ask you guys all a question. If there's somebody you hated that you wanted to beat up, and they would pay you $30,000 to do it in a boxing ring, would you do it? For $30,000? Would you just put in the chat? Would you beat up the guy you hate legally? Like it would be legal. You could beat the fuck out of him because boxing is legal, right? For $30,000, would you do it? Like, would you beat the fuck out of your enemy for 30,000? Why can't Plant and Benavidez do it for hundreds of thousands? They were getting ready to fight in the gym. They were going to fight in the gym, but they can't make the fight happen. But everybody wants to talk about Canelo not fighting people, right? Danny Jacobs called out Jamal, right? That they could fight. Danny Jacobs looks like a fucking sitting duck. The timing is there. The timing is right there. Man, nobody would fight their enemy for $30,000, right? Like there isn't a person on earth you would just love to beat the fuck out of, and they paid you $30,000. You guys wouldn't do it? Nobody? They'll rather fight for free and put on a world star. Kevin has a theory that PBC stopping all the big fights. Well, the truth is, PBC, like any other brand, is trying to build up their profile, right? And they don't really want to, to have investments. Like Caleb Plant's an investment for PBC. That's what you guys got to understand, right? They have invested money on Caleb Plant. So Caleb Plant finally started fighting in arenas. He finally started getting TV deals, fighting on Fox, right? Has he even broken even from what they've invested in him? I don't know. But they want to make money off of their investment. So you really think that they were going to let him go to the zone to get his ass beat by Canelo? Probably not. Now, granted, they wanted to get experience and they want to make sure that it's a calculated risk by the time they put him in the ring with Canelo. Right? But me as a fan, I don't give a fuck. I want to see unification. It ain't my problem if your investment, like that's not my investment. My investment is the sport of boxing, right? So it's best for the sport of boxing as a whole for all these guys to fight each other. And that means all of them. Could you imagine, just imagine this. Imagine, Marco Antonio Barrera, right? When it was at, when it was in lower classes, featherweight, super featherweight, right? Imagine if, in order for him to prove himself, he had to fight everybody, right? But these other guys didn't have to fight each other. They're just imagine, okay, Morales, you don't have to fight anybody else. You just gotta wait for the Pacquiao fight. Just fight a bunch of bums for now, and just wait for the Barrera fight. You know what I mean? But Barrera's gonna have to fight everybody, from the Prince Nassim Hameds to Morales to Marquez. He's got to fight all of you. You don't have to fight each other. Just imagine that's the way it was done. Could you imagine Ray Leonard had to fight everybody, right? Leonard had to fight, Cuevas instead of Hearns. You know what I mean? And he had to fight Hearns and Duran and Benitez. But none of these other guys ever had to fight each other, though. Ever. He had to fight Hagler, but not Hearns. Just him, right? Everyone else gets to fight easy touches until they fight you because you're the cash cow. Well, that's not the way it's done. Everybody needs to fight everybody at the end of the day. At the end of the day. And then people talking too much about prime peers and all this and that. Canelo was a young dude when he fought Mayweather. Right? So we're going to take away that win from Mayweather because he was young and not in his prime? What are you guys even saying? Was Maidana a spring chicken? What does that even mean? It's whatever. But look, Canelo has a long career ahead of him. He still has at least 4 or 5 years. So if everyone starts fighting everybody, we could start to make a lot of these fights happen. All right? Who the fuck is Plant fighting? Here's what I want you to do from now on. Whenever somebody questions Canelo's fighting, the follow-up question should be, well, who are these other guys fighting? Who are they fighting? Who are they fighting? And I want you to keep that same energy when, your favorite fighters get another fight announced. I want that same energy. Bring it. Just remember, they're going to get fights announced too. Benavidez will have an announced fight. It's going to be announced soon. All right? Jamal, he's going to have a fight announced soon. Right? Well, let's see who he fights. Because what I'm going to start doing now, you see, the mistake I used to make in the past, I would hold Canelo to a higher standard. So I'll come on here and I'll make a criticism, yada, 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 right? And even though I would say I'm holding him to a higher standard, I didn't elaborate like I'm elaborating now. But what I'm going to start doing now is, okay, so let's start holding everybody to the same standard. We're going to start keeping that same energy, and we're going to keep that same consistency for everybody. That's what we're going to start doing now. That's what we're going to start doing. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And Kevin really doesn't like PBC. Yeah, PBC has to probably stop at the pay-per-views, to be honest with you. But boxing needs to build more fans, and the way to do that is through regular, Showtime or Fox, something like that. You know what I mean? We will see how it goes. I do got Ryan Garcia in that fight, though, 92 IQ. I just needed to tuck in that chin a little bit. You know what I mean? And guys, I've been on for a good hour, but got some things to do. Want to thank everybody for coming in. And even if you don't agree, I can tell you that it's okay. Hold on. Hold on here. Hold up. Reviewing something really quick. All right, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but anyway. 92, are you really calling him Rye Guy? Are you really doing that? Look, if somebody comes in and disagrees, I mean, it's cool, guys. You know what I mean? We don't need to talk, because I cannot see, like, on my end on StreamYard. Could be a little more liberal with the wrenches. You know what I mean? It's all right. It's all right. Like, we don't necessarily need to time out. They're disagreeing with what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So it's cool to disagree. So, but with that said, um, people are going to feel how they feel. I can't, I understand, to some people it's like a shocker when they hear like a different perspective, um, but just consider it. It's all I ask. I just ask you to consider some of what I said. You know what I mean? And kind of, you know, listen to try and understand a perspective. Don't listen to just respond right away. You know what I mean? And all that good stuff. With that said, guys, this is D-Style, right? And I'm out. Peace.